तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते भूरिदा जनाः. Sri Ramakrishna's, yesterday we celebrated Sri Ramakrishna's birthday. So this is an occasion where we recall again and again the Sri Ramakrishna's importance of his advent, especially to this modern age. What he has given, that is very important. Because we analyze or we study the previous avatars and what is the Sri Ramakrishna has shown different, something different which is for the need of the age. Because everywhere, every yuga, Dwapar, Treta Yuga, they have appeared. At that time they had their own purpose of life. So, and also they proved that one. That was needed at that time. But now in modern times, what is needed is Sri Ramakrishna again is given. That's why he is a little bit unique in many ways. First is he used to tell that what the spirituality, what you have been coming, it is flowing through the ages, and that has been given by various avatars. And Sri Ramakrishna gives it. He says that this spirituality or the divinity can be given just like we give an apple to anybody. Sri Ramakrishna tells we can give just like we give the apple like that. The spirituality or the divinity can be given to a person. And Sri Ramakrishna's life he has shown also, because many times one Kalipada Ghosh incident I will tell. He was a drunkard just like Girish Chandra Ghosh, like that he was also. He was a drunkard. So when he was so much used to drink, and Sri Ramakrishna found him, he knew some good qualities there, but he is practicing that. So he says one day that I will give you a new wine today. He tells him, new wine to drink, so that you are not drunk earlier, like that. Then he said, all right, something new means he want to taste it. Then, but this if you drink, then afterwards you will not drink anything. Only you will only ask for this one, he will tell. Then it is in a Sri Ramakrishna tells, I give new thing. Then after some time he just touches him. When he touches, he completely transforms. Galipada Ghosh, he becomes a divine, full of divinity. So that how Sri Ramakrishna used to tell that by touching he can make the persons. And sometimes, many times he has written mantras on the tongue of many devotees. And Swamiji also he transformed. So this Sri Ramakrishna, he said, if you have got that full, complete surrender to Divine Mother, and if you are filled with only thought of Mother and nothing but Mother, and if you are having that God-oriented mind, that is possible. That's why in his life you can see he has started the life by just calling Mother. See, he never made any mantra or nobody taught him, no initiation, nothing. Simply calling on Mother. And he used to call, and so much that sometimes he went into trance. Even in the simple way, when they are going to the Vishalakshmi Mandir, in a Mela, they are going. So all the villagers are there and he is also going, and they are all singing the Mother's name and going to the Vishalakshmi Mandir. So when they are going on the way, Sri Ramakrishna fell unconscious. Then all were perturbed. What happened? Then they brought some water and put it. Even then he was not. Then they uttered the name of Devi's name. Then he becomes conscious, and then they further proceeded. And also another incident is there when he used to, at a very young age, when he was just moving in the paddy field. So the natural beauty, when he saw the so much the beauty that it was very outstanding. That in the black cloud, the swan, the white birds are flying, and seeing that he is how beauty like that, he just standing and he becomes trance. So that is he is shown in the even in the younger age. Between his mind was fully with the mother or the god. So that's why later on he used to tell. Today also we were reading that even while he is going in the bullock cart or some traveling to, and in that he is seeing people are moving and all, just like any child sees, and he will become just like a boy, small, ordinary, simple boy. That's why later he used to tell that if a person becomes a simple like balakavat, so it's simple like small children. So there is difference is there. Children and childishness. So you should not be childishness. So children, if they are having the pure mind, and also they are very much having no idea of any conceit or anything. So that type of things we see in Sri Ramakrishna's life. And he has shown the very highest subtle principles of our Vedanta, Vedas, Upanishads and all great rishis and all sadhakas, all avatars, what have shown the simplest principles. He has made it very simple, and it can be practiced by all. Not only simply it is by some scholars or some pandits, no, nothing like that. Even ordinary person can take up the practice and he can reach to the Godhood. So that is the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna, and he always bent upon that one idea that you must become somehow divine. Because the very purpose of our life is to become divine. So that's why he says, when in today's conversation we saw that even Brahma Samaj devotees, so about that whether we have to give up this karma and take up only the practice of spirituality. Everything you leave and go to some forest and go on doing japa, meditation. Sri Ramakrishna says, why you have to do that? You need not to do. You be wherever you are, but you keep the mind on God. So do all the duties of the world, but your mind must be on God. So that is the basic principle Sri Ramakrishna gave. And one more he gives, that the practice of this spirituality as religion. So as many faith, so many paths. Jatamot tatopat. That is a new concept. That one idea other earlier people have not given, or all the earlier authors have not given. And Sri Krishna has given for us Gita, is the Bhagavad Gita. How many can understand this Bhagavad Gita? How many can study properly? But whereas you can see the Kathamrita, in Kathamrita he tells simple principles like that and very ordinary way. So anybody can just hear and practice. And simple principles like today we are telling about that mother is also, she is Nirakar Sakar, and also Sadguna Nirguna. Then he tells she has got the Leela, she has got many aspects. So Keshav Chandra asked, how many types mother can sport? Like that one question he puts, Keshav Chandra. So that Leela, sporting. Mother, how many times or how many varieties of Leela she can do? Tell me how many varieties are there. Sri Ramakrishna in a simple way tells, in a, just like a small boy, oh, so many, thousands of ways she can play. So that is how he used to give simple answers to them. And that is the infinite possibility of the divinity. That divine power has got infinite power. And it has got infinite possibilities. That possibility is there in the what you get in the Upanishads and Gita. So that these things like that Sri Ramakrishna is given in a simple way. And another important thing what Sri Ramakrishna has given, that all the religions are true. So we read Ekam Sat Vipra Bahudha Vadanti, like that we read in the Vedas. But he practiced it. That is the importance of Sri Ramakrishna's life. Is he lived the principles. So his life, he lives from morning onwards, he gets up and whole day and night. His every moment of his movement or reverberating these principles of Vedas and Upanishads. You can see if he as he moves, as he talks, they are already in the Upanishads and Gita. Whatever he tells, it is there. But nobody can, they cannot trace out, but it is already in the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. He tells and he moves, he does whatever movement he does, whatever work he does, talking, any action, every moment of his action, every second, whatever he moves and tells and walks, so it is already recorded in the previous lives. And also similarly, one more thing we see that Sri Ramakrishna's life, that his whole, every, what you call that, atom or every cell of his body was filled with that divinity. So, nothing but God in his life, in his whole body like that, even physical body like that. So, leave apart the avangmana gochara, what you see, then yato vatu nivartante aprapya manasa saha, like that Bhagavad Gita, in the Upanishads we see. So that substance where even the sound cannot do, na tatra suryo bhati na chandra taraka, like that it is explained in the Upanishads. So such a substance, it was in every cell of Sri Ramakrishna, every cell of his body. And it was always just resounding that high principles. So you can imagine the Romarola, the French philosopher, he has not simply told that Sri Ramakrishna's life is the life of 2000 years of millions of sadhakas, what they lived and shown, that is shown in one life, like that. Romarola has says. You know, he has not seen and he has not even come to India and visited, but he could, by hearing about him, he could grasp. And if a person can, just by hearing, if you can grasp, you can understand how much powerful it was. So that we can see in the Sri Ramakrishna's life. And Sri Ramakrishna, one more thing he has given to us, that this must be applicable to in our day-to-day life. That's why Swami Vivekananda later tells that this highest principles of Vedanta must be brought to the street, to the cobbler's shop, to the peasant's field. It must be brought. Simply it remains in the caves and the Upanishads and the Gita books, and if it remains in the textbook only, no use. The Swami Vivekananda tells later. The same thing Sri Ramakrishna says, that these principles must be practiced in our day-to-day life. Otherwise, what is use of these ideas or this God or worshipping and principles? What is simply no use. They will never, simply they will be in the book. The book is separate, we are separate. Like it happens. It should not be in the book, it must be in our day-to-day movement. So what we talk, we must be able to walk. So that is the Sri Ramakrishna, Man Mukh Ekar, that is Sri Ramakrishna's wording. So Sri Ramakrishna, that's why he gave one very, very sound teaching. That was after much discussion it came. You might have heard. They were discussing about the Vaishnava principles. And Swami Vivekananda was there, Girishchandra Ghosh and some other people were there. They are sitting and discussing about this principle, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Jivedaya. So that when they heard this one, Sri Ramakrishna says, who are you to show daya to others, compassion? So you are not capable, or you are not eligible to show any compassion. So compassion only Bhagavan can show. You have got only power to serve the people, and think that by your serving, you are serving God directly. So God is present in all the beings. So if you see God and serve them, then that is the highest thing you can do. You cannot show compassion. So this, the presentation of this idea in a different way, where others avatars or even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not use this idea, that you must serve the human being as the veritable manifestation of God. That's why in every being, what we read in the Bhagavad Gita, Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati, like that he tells, I am residing in all the human beings. So that much only. But how it is practiced, how it can be brought into the life, that is important. That Sri Ramakrishna tells, you do service to everybody as a God. Think that they are God on the earth and serve them. And that's why even this can be applied in our day-to-day life, in our own home, in the family, that we children are really God, and the God in that form he has come, children in the form of children. And whatever we do to the children, think that they are doing to the God only directly. And think that way, then you will have the sadhana, mind getting purified, and you will be able to remember God more and more. So there are simply children so and so. Even in the life of Krishna comes, that she says, Yashoda, my Krishna Bal Gopal, he cannot eat or survive if I don't take care of him. That Yashoda tells. So that much only conversation is there. Then afterwards, in one incident there, later one day when the Bal Gopal ate mud, and she beats and take out the mud from the mouth. When he opens the mouth, the whole Brahmanda was there in the mouth. And she got surprised how this whole Brahmanda in his mouth. Then she could understand that he is not an ordinary being, he is a divine. So like that incident we get in the life of Krishna. But here in Sri Ramakrishna, he tells that you think that every being is God and Goddess, and in their heart Bhagavan is there. And whatever you do to them, you are serving directly to God and Goddess. So that must, if you have this idea, then there will be no quarrel or no strife or nothing. So each and everybody. And in one place, Sri Ramakrishna, in Kathamata it comes, you can read also later, some may come. So some people, they discuss, they fighting was there, and somebody was scolding each other, and some in the Dakshineshwar temple, in the room itself, somebody do some mistakes, which is not usually not expected. Then Sri Ramakrishna says that what can I say to them, because they are veritable manifestation of God. The God is there in them. So what can I say? I cannot say anything because I see God in them. So when I see the God in them, how can I say that you are doing this wrong, it's right? So like that type of mentality he had. And by that what happens, sometimes it transforms both the person and also the other person also. So that Sri Ramakrishna showed in this. That is Shiva Bhavajiya Shiva. That Sri Ramakrishna's another very important teaching he had given. So this we must try to apply. So this will reduce what we are having, this difference of opinion in the spiritual practice, or the religious practices. Because varieties of so many types of religions, so many ways of doing worship. So it may vary, person to person it may vary, and so some religion to religion it varies. That Sri Ramakrishna tells you that variation will be there. But you think that what they are doing it only good doing to the same God which everybody is doing. So if that thought comes, that oneness when it comes, then all religions are true. So there is no difference between any religion. Not a religion, one is low or one is high. So every religion has got equal importance. The only thing is it is required to be practiced. That's what Swami Vivekananda told in the Chicago address, that you go back to your scriptures, he tells. Then only you will know the highest principles and practice them. Simply talking and discussing and doing something, and maybe different way it may be, but you must think that they are all going towards same God. So that Swamiji also same ideas he gives. That Swami Vivekananda has, as you know, he was completely transformed by Sri Ramakrishna. And varieties of ideas he had. He had the effect of the Brahmo Samaj, and he had the effect of the Western education, and he had studied all the philosophies of the world. And he was a very, very sharp intellect person, and he could grasp very quickly. You know, so many incidents are there in his life. So anything he can very grasp quickly and understand. So that type of sharp intellect was Swamiji. So he was molded and transformed by Sri Ramakrishna. And he tells that Sri Ramakrishna, without Sri Ramakrishna, he could have not come up to that level. Even though he had all the caliber, he had all the capacity, all the brain and intellect, everything was there. But what that Sri Ramakrishna gave in him, that was the touch of spirituality, the divinity, or the something unconscious, or the supreme power, what he transformed. That itself is something great. By that only he completely transformed. And all this, whatever had the capabilities, the intelligence and his capacity and skills, whatever he had, all got bloomed, and they got all the power in him. And he could you make use of it, because only one thing, that is the spiritual power or the consciousness what Sri Ramakrishna infused in him, what he put in him. So that only made all this bloom. And he became, and that's why Sri Ramakrishna said, Naren Chikkadipe. He says that he will teach the world. So that teaching capacity comes from the divinity. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna's the one life we see, he unlettered person, and he had not studied any scriptures, but he had a full embodiment of all the scriptures, and he was having every knowledge of the scriptures. So how it is possible? That's why he said the granthas are only granthis. The scriptures are only just like a granthi. They are not at all any value. So that is Sri Ramakrishna tells. And what was important is that the divine force which is within us. That is only you have to contemplate and call on. That is what he showed. Sri Ramakrishna showed, and Sri Ramakrishna also, when he explained this, Swamiji understood it. And Swamiji also later on he puts in a very colorful language so that people can follow and understand. And that the basic thing is that you must become divine. That how in different ways he explains that. And that he showed in the life. So that is how all these things make the uniqueness. And one more thing what he had made, especially to this present generation, that the Shakti or the motherhood, the God can be mother also. We had Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Shiva, all this we have. So generally they cannot understand that God can be fully mother also. So that Sri Ramakrishna showed that she is not only the Brahma, she is also Shakti, also same. Shakti and the Brahman abhed. So there is no difference. They are one and the same. They are equally only one thing in different name. So that motherhood, or the mother also can be completely God herself. That he showed. And especially, you are not simply he preached, he showed that in the Sharda Devi. That Sharda Devi, he completely transforms her. And he just put all his spiritual practice and power, what he had earned, he just pour into her. And she was elevated to the divine motherhood and universal motherhood. So that universal motherhood he brought to all the people, because people are not having that idea that women can be a god or goddess, or equally Brahman herself. So there is no difference. That idea we never had. So that in the life of Rama, Sita's treatment you can see. How he treated Sita. Even though Sita was Jagat Janani, she was the very embodiment of God, Brahman herself. And similarly in the life of Sri Krishna, Radhika, it is attributed. Even though in the Bhagavata much of not given, but Radhika was there, and how he behaved with Radhika, he never much cared to her. So last days he never just left her to her. So that situation in Sri Ramakrishna's life, you can see how he lived with her and he raised her to the universal motherhood, and then afterwards the whole responsibility he gives to her. She says, I am only a woman, what can I do? Then he says, no, you have got a lot to do. You have got much to do. You have got so many things. Father only you have come, that he tells. So you are the same, Kali, the mother or divine mother. That idea he gives to her. Then he raises her and gives her all power. And she gets so much strength. Later on, she was the cause for the whole setting of this whole organization. So that was because of the Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna's only one principle, that hold on to the divinity, the divine Daiva Bhav, and that is Atman itself. So that Atman which is in all of us, and it is verily you can experience by simply calling on and with all sincerity. And for that he given only one method, that weep, he tells. Weep for God. So you should go on weeping, you will see the presence. So that is his method of simple way he has given that. He didn't tell you do some yoga practice or go to some caves and do some practice. Nothing he did. Hatha yoga, no yogas. Simply call on and weep. So that is the importance of Sri Ramakrishna. So you must just reading once in a while this Kathamada especially, we can get so many things in that. If we read on the Kathamada itself, yeah. So we shall see later again. Om Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Tattva Sampadasya Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Paramesha Midyam Samram Krishnam Surasam. Thank you.